This is a special presentation of WWL Louisiana. Tonight, the great cocktail bars of New Orleans. Welcome to the beautiful French Quarter. This is the great cocktail bars of New Orleans. That's Charisse Gibson of Doug Mouton.
Now, over the next 30 minutes, we're going to take you to 5 of the great cocktail bars of New Orleans. There's so many.
So many, yes. And that's why we say of the great cocktail bars.
Yeah.
There's a lot to choose from. These are 5 spectacular cocktail bars. And look, everybody knows about the restaurant scene in New Orleans. We wanted to profile the cocktail bar scene, which is spectacular in New Orleans. And I brought tasters with me to do these stories. Charisse, you were a taster on several occasions. How do you describe this experience?
I can only say that I'm very fortunate.
Yeah, it was so much fun. And we begin with the one cocktail bar where I sort of felt like we had to begin. We start uptown. We're going to start our cocktail tour with the place that sort of kicked off the cocktail revolution in New Orleans 15 years ago. This is Cure on Ferret.
We are a neighborhood cocktail bar that is relatively upscale and that really executes at a really high level.
Neil Bodenheimer is a New Orleans native who came home after Katrina and opened Cure in 2009 in what was a flooded out section of Ferret Street.
At that time, so many neighborhood bars were divey or pretty casual. The best way that we can describe this is to say, what would happen if you took a nice hotel bar and you removed it from a hotel?
What happened is Neil Bodenheimer's concept worked. Cure won the James Beard Award for Best Bar Program in America. And last year, it made the list of 50 best cocktail bars in North America.
We do something that is very exacting and very precise, and some people might say pretentious. But the reality is that our style of service and what we offer is relatively relaxed.
We asked Neil to make us one drink he'd recommend to visitors. He picked his current bestseller, a house-created cocktail called the Single Entendre.
This is an egg white less whiskey sour.
No egg.
No egg.
And you start with bourbon.
Start with bourbon, and then next we do Strega, which is a really cool cordial from Benevento in southern Italy near Naples. What this does is it gives you a medicinal quality, which I know some people think is bad.
Yeah.
But what we're looking for is layers of flavor.
Right.
So you wouldn't taste this drink and say, wow, it's medicinal. You would say, wow, it actually has a lot going on in a good way.
Then you add sweet to that, right?
And then we add sweet and we add acid to it. So the cordial, it's a grapefruit cordial, raw sugar, and grapefruit juice.
All right, I did bring my 3 tasters along for the purpose of this story. That's Randy Aphrodite's, one of New Orleans' great local artists. He also happens to be my uncle. Charisse, of course, because she's Charisse. And my daughter, Emily, because she's had a lot of Mouton drinks in the Mouton house. Emily, Charisse, Uncle Randy, they're here just to taste the drinks. What do we think?
This is the masterpiece.
Yeah, definitely a masterpiece. Sweet, easy to go down.
And it's not too acidic.
I feel like there's a reason why this is one of the favorites.
Cheers, y'all. Certainly this has eclipsed our wildest dream of what it would be. I'm not lying. I really just wanted to do what I wanted to do, which was make great cocktails, and I didn't want to go out of business.
And look, Charisse, I sort of consider Cure to be the commander's palace of the New Orleans cocktail bars. It's the standard by which the others are judged. And you called that Single Entendre, you said it was sweet and easy to go down. That's an accessible drink,
It
isn't
really is. Let me tell you, if you're a beginner or if you're a pro at cocktail mixing, that's the drink that you want to get when you're at Cure.
Yeah, it was so good. And look, I felt like we had about a dozen great cocktail bars to choose from. But I thought for this series to have credibility, we had to get 2 in this series, and that was Cure and the one we're about to take you to. We now take you to the French Quarter. The second stop in our cocktail tour is here on St. Louis in the French Quarter, where Chris Hanna is bringing back New Orleans cocktail history at one of the great bars in North America. This is Jewel of the South.
We wanted to bring back the Jewel of the South, which at the time was the most important, influential, and well-known bar in all the South, not alone New Orleans. So we just put our minds together and our talents and wanted to bring that vibe back to the city.
This is the proprietor of the original Jewel of the South. 170 years ago in New Orleans, one of the most influential drink makers ever, Joseph Santini. One of his creations, the Brandy Crusta.
I love the history, and the history is great. But what I really love about the Brandy Crusta is my favorite quote of New Orleans. It's everything worth doing is worth overdoing.
For his Brandy Crusta, Santini rubbed citrus on the rim of the glass, then rolled the glass in sugar. It's the first sugar-rimmed cocktail ever. And the Brandy Crusta is the father of the sidecar, and the margarita, and the cosmopolitan. And Chris Hanna serves them up at Jewel of the South in a French Quarter cottage on St. Louis near Rampart.
We are not input traffic. Everybody who comes here on purpose, and so we just, as a team, we just like to make sure that they're happy that they made the journey.
Chris Hanna is a bartending legend. This past summer, Jewel of the South won the James Beard Award for Outstanding Bar in America. And of course, when we asked for one drink, he made the New Orleans classic, Brandy Crusta. You start with the bitters, or you don't care?
No, I start with the bitter so I don't forget.
Yeah.
And then it's the lemon, the curacao, and the maraschino.
Yeah. Mixed together at the right amounts.
Exactly. Save steps.
And that is the cognac?
This is the cognac.
Why would you pour it out of the cognac bottle? It's just faster out of there?
No, it doesn't fit. See, that's the problem with cognac. They always have those oblong, pretty, you know what I mean? And it's cool from over there.
It's a beautiful bottle.
But we gotta make sure we get these drinks out so you guys are enjoying.
All right, my three tasters for our trip here to Jewel of the South. We've got Ross Jackson from the Locked On Saints podcast. We've got Emily Mouton back again. She's gonna do a lot of free day drinking with us. And Charisse, because she's Charisse. All right, Charisse, tell me what you think.
It's almost gone.
Which is good.
I think the lemon really brings it all out. I really like the lemon in it.
Nice.
You just get that aroma too.
Right, it's the whole peel. That's another thing is he peeled the entire lemon. So it's like the whole lemon peel.
I love it. The word that comes to mind is crisp, is the word, which makes, I think you had said it was refreshing.
Is this version, you think, close to the version that they were selling 175 years ago?
It is. I got a couple of recipes, so I do like what you normally do. I get 3 to 5 that I like the most. There you are, my friend.
Thank you very much. Appreciate
And then I make an average, and then I see what I like.
Yeah, right.
There we are, my friend.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Cheers, guys.
All right, cheers, everybody.
Cheers. Woo.
And Charisse, that Brandy Crusta is 175 years of New Orleans history in a glass. I think every New Orleanian needs to go to Jewel of the South and try a Brandy Crusta. It's a beautiful drink.
And I had my glasses on because I could taste 175 years in that glass, and it went down pretty easy. And
So
guess what?
easy.
We're just getting started.
Yes.
Coming up, a daiquiri like you've never had before.
Yeah, that's ahead on the great cocktail bars of New Orleans.
Welcome back to the great cocktail bars of New Orleans, where we are taking you to 5 of the best places to grab a cocktail if you're ever in the city.
Yes, 5 great spots. And now we're going to take you to a Cuban-inspired place that makes daiquiris. You've had some, haven't you?
Manolito.
Oh, this place is so good in the heart of the French Quarter. The next stop on our cocktail tour, a Cuban-influenced daiquiri bar in the 500 block of Dumaine, here in the French Quarter. Monolito.
Historically, classic daiquiris and also frozen daiquiris originated in Cuba.
And that's where Conrad Cantor and Monolito begin, blending Havana and New Orleans.
If you look at Monolito on our website or on our menu, it does feel like it's this Cuban-inspired place. But if you're sitting at this bar, it feels like a New Orleans bar. It is 100% a New Orleans cocktail bar, but we are just celebrating what New Orleans had learned from the Cuban bartenders.
And a lot of that involves how to blend a ton of ice into a classic cocktail. They turn a classic daiquiri into a fresh, frozen daiquiri.
For locals, they love that we do fresh blended drinks. So locals go the craziest over it. tourists that are coming in, a lot of them have never had a proper Sazerac, a proper Manhattan, a proper classic daiquiri. So we're here to introduce those drinks to people that maybe want to drink a New Orleans drink.
They do it all at Monolito, but when we asked Conrad to make us one drink he'd recommend to visitors, he broke out the blender to make a Floridita daiquiri.
For a blended drink, it really helps to have this, some people call it Sonic Ice, Nugget Ice. And we're gonna do 8 scoops, so that's 10 ounces per drink. 3/4 ounces of lime juice per drink. That's 1 ounce of Luxardo Maraschino. So total for all 4, so it's really quarter ounce per drink.
Just a little bit.
A little bit goes a long way.
A little, yeah.
When you actually, if you took the classic daiquiri ingredients, rum, lime, sugar, and blended them with this much ice, it would taste way too watered down.
Yeah.
So what the Cuban bartenders figured out in the late 20s was adding like 1/4 ounces of a liqueur just stretches that flavor of it.
Oh, nice.
We actually pour the final ingredient while the blender is moving, so that we can get a vortex going, and then I can see the texture.
Let me introduce our 3 testers here at Monolito. We've got Ricardo, of course, does sports with us at Channel 4. We got Emily Mouton, back because she's Emily Mouton. And then Andre Lovett, one of the great singers in New Orleans, also a great friend of mine, here to taste the drinks. What do you think, Andre?
I love this. It's literally the perfect balance of the sweetness, the tartness. It's a classic daiquiri in frozen form.
It's very well balanced, and it's really refreshing.
You can tell when you use fresh lime juice, there's a distinct taste, and it tastes great.
You know, we have social media presence a little bit, but we've never really tried to use advertising and marketing too much to tell people they need to come here. We started really small, and we've been able to expand. In April, we tripled the seating of the same space, and the demand is here, so it makes me happy.
And I think Andre said it best. It's a classic daiquiri in frozen form. And to drink a classic daiquiri without all that sugar is a beautiful thing, right?
It's a mostly amazing thing. Now, I'm sad that I didn't get to be a tester with you on this particular day, but I can say I visited Monolito plenty of times. That banana daiquiri they have is fantastic. Not too sugary, not too over the top. You don't leave with a headache. It just tastes amazing.
Yeah, and he said the demand is here, which is so nice. But I think the demand is really here when it gets hot.
Yes.
That's the place. I think that's the place you write down. This is where we want to go when it's hot.
And they have so many amazing cocktails. They've redone the place, so it's a beautiful spot to just grab a cocktail if you're walking around the French Quarter.
Yeah, rebuilt and beautiful. All right, look, we've got some bars that have been around a while and some new bars, like our next one. We're going to take you to a hip new spot now in the Bywater. The next stop on our cocktail tour, a new spot that's drawing rave reviews in the Bywater. This is Night Bloom.
I wanted a neighborhood spot, and it feels like that, and I've let everything kind of breathe. We wanted to look really nice, but not be overly pretentious. I hate just kind of try hard kind of stuff, or I want everyone invited.
The vibe at Night Bloom, Juice LeClaire says, is cool, calm, and collected, and they bill themselves as a late night destination.
This area, like St. Cloud Bywater, it's a late night spot. And there wasn't something, and I love dives. I love getting a shot and a beer, hanging out with your friends, but sometimes I want to get a Negroni.
In other words, a late night spot with a grown-up attitude that takes its cocktails very seriously. The website Eater includes Night Bloom on their list of best new cocktail bars. And this month, the Bywater Bar made Imbibe magazine's annual list of inspiring people and places. Night Bloom is one of the Imbibe 75.
It's insanely flattering. It comes from a lot of hard work, not just from me, but the people that we all work with. The team we have here was extremely curated, and everyone's a vet, everyone's an adult.
When we asked Juice LeClaire to make us one drink, he made us his riff on a margarita called the Miss Vanjie, which starts with a verdita.
We're gonna do just a quart container, cilantro that I already picked, and you want the stems, and then mint, another quart container, so it's equal parts. Bunch of jalapenos, seed them. You don't really want them for the spice, you want them for just the actual flavor of them, and then pineapple juice. And then low and slow, this will be loud.
How many of those do you go through in a night?
One a night, one of these a night at least. This is the most popular drink by far, so. Yeah, it's frothy and green goodness. Looks like matcha. I love salt in the drink first, and then I just take agave, just blue Weber, nectar agave. It's 1/4 of an ounce for one drink. Next, we got lime juice. Do me a solid, juice your own limes.
How much lime juice per drink?
Half an ounce.
And the Verdita's the star in this drink, isn't it?
100%. So you just do an ounce for one drink.
So that's an ounce of tequila in each one?
Yeah.
And then how much mezcal?
Same.
An ounce of each, okay.
Yep, split base. So just that beautiful green kind of.
And that's the color you're looking for, right?
100%.
All right, here at Night Bloom, my 3 tasters for today. We brought Malik Mingo from Great Day, Louisiana, Andre Levitt, one of New Orleans' great singers, back with us again, and Emily Mouton, of course, because I'm spending some time with Emily Mouton. All right, Malik, what do you think?
I love the flavors. I feel like I'm going to Mexico.
I very clearly am enjoying it. Now, the jalapeno, I feel like it's great.
I love it. I love the mezcal mixed with like the cilantro and the jalapeno. It's great.
We always wanted a spot where it's social and it's fun, it's lively, it's energetic, but it's also like respected.
And Charisse, that margarita was by far the best margarita I've ever had. That Verdita takes it to another level. Just a beautiful drink.
And look, all of the ingredients that are inside of that sauce in the Verdita, that definitely adds to your nutritional value. So I'm almost sure that you're more healthy after you drink it.
Much more healthy after having a couple of Miss Vangies. All right, when we come back, one of Charisse and I's favorite bars. It is an oasis in the French Quarter.
Yeah, that's coming up on the Great Cocktail Bars of New Orleans. Welcome back to the Great Cocktail Bars of New Orleans, and now we're going to take you to a little oasis in the middle of the French Quarter.
Yeah, you would never know when you're inside of this bar all the activity happening outside of the bar, and it's a beautiful place,
and
isn't it?
Not only is it a beautiful place, but the bar's owner is equally amazing.
Yes, he really is. And look, here's one thing that I think that's cool about this whole series. Night Bloom, that we just showed you, opened less than a year. This is a place that's had more than a decade of success in the middle of the French Quarter. The final stop on our cocktail tour is here, right off one of the busiest intersections in the French Quarter. That's Bourbon and Bienville, and this is Patrick's Bar Vin.
This is an island of serenity in the middle of the ocean of madness.
And that's how Belgian native Patrick Van Orbeck describes his bar. And Patrick's island of serenity is within a block of some of the world's best restaurants: Galatoire's, GW Finn's, Arno's.
We're very blessed, very lucky to be surrounded by those wonderful restaurants. We have a very good relationship with them. It's a win-win. We like the neighborhood.
And Patrick's Bar Vin has flourished here for more than 13 years.
We are a wine bar with an attitude. I like sometimes to tell people this is like a temple of libation.
Most Sazeracs now are made with rye whiskey, but the original New Orleans Sazerac was made with brandy or cognac. And because Bar Vin means wine bar, every drink on Patrick's cocktail menu has grapes in it, and cognac is made from French grapes. So longtime bar manager Yuli Aguilar, who helped design the cocktail menu, uses cognac in the Bar Vin Sazerac.
The most important thing is to have a chilled glass because the cocktail doesn't require ice. It requires 1.5 ounces of cognac.
And you went through a bunch of cognacs to find the one you liked, right?
Yes, yes. This one in particular, the Remy Martin 1738, isn't as sweet as your typical cognac, and since it's being sweetened with simple syrup,
right,
it's a good balance. 3 dashes of Peychaud's, little dash of syrup.
So you're not using much syrup at all?
No, because the brandy's already sweet.
Got some sweetness,
yeah.
Right.
Just a rinse of absinthe.
The atomizer with absinthe.
That's it, and the lemon zest, yes.
All right, our 3 testers here at Patrick Bar Vin. We brought back Andre Levitt, one of the great singers in New Orleans. Emily Mouton is back because I love spending time with Emily Mouton. And Charisse is back. You know why? Because she's Charisse. All right, Andre, look, I know you love Sazeracs. What do you think?
It's amazing. I love the Remy instead of the rye. It's great.
The touch of simple, I like it. Yeah, it's amazing.
I think the beautiful thing, too, it's New Orleans history in a glass.
It is.
And that's a beautiful thing.
Mm-hmm.
Cheers, everybody.
Cheers.
Woo.
I love to please people. I like to make people happy, and I think this bar gave me the opportunity to do that. You come here once, you're always gonna come back.
Again, I asked Charisse about her Sazerac. Her response, Look, Sazerac's a great old school New Orleans drink, but it is a strong drink.
And it is all alcohol. There is no room for anything else in there, so that is all that I could muster to say. But what it did catch my attention as I was having my Sazerac was all of the decorations that were on the wall, more specifically the marionettes, because Patrick is from Belgium.
Yeah, and if the stuff is beautiful around the bar. It's very plush. Again, it's like an oasis. You don't feel like you're in the heart of the quarter. Super comfy. Patrick is amazing. He is the king of the Crew of Cork, which has been going for 25 years.
Yes.
In carnival time, it's a walk-in parade through the French Quarter. It's a beautiful thing, and Patrick leads that parade every year.
And you had a chance to participate in that parade.
And I did have a chance to participate this year. I can tell you, it is a lot of fun. And we're not done yet. We're back with more of our great cocktail bars of New Orleans. And Charisse, when we set out to do these, the one rule I had was no restaurant bars, no hotel bars, only because we had so many great bars to choose from. And again, the 5 that we chose, we went to Cure Uptown, then we took you to the French Quarter, to Jewel of the South, stayed in the French Quarter for the Cuban-inspired Monolito, then went to the hip new spot in the Bywater, Night Bloom, and then back to the French Quarter and ended at Patrick's Bar Vin, which is actually a nice place to end your night, isn't it?
It certainly is. Now, the 3 out of the 5 that I did get to go to are amazing while I was with you. By the way, thank you so much for having me with you.
You're welcome.
I will always call with Doug if I want to go day drinking. I love day drinking.
Yeah, I mean, come on. This is New Orleans. Who doesn't like doing it? And we want to thank all the people at those 5 bars. They were incredibly accommodating.
Yes.
They took us in. We laughed. We did them all before the bars were open. Just a fun series to do, wasn't it?
It certainly was.
So much fun. And look, we thank you for watching the great cocktail bars of New Orleans.